Hi, friend. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm the founder behind Chancy Charm, and we are a destination wedding planning company spanning the US and beyond. We're now in Europe, and just super excited that you're here. Whether you're on YouTube, listening to my podcast, reading the blog, I'm just honored that you would spend a little bit of time with me and trust me to give some wisdom and insight into your wedding planning career and journey. This information I'm going to be sharing today is one of my favorite topics. It's some of my very best content because it has been really game changing for Chancy Charm, which again has done over 800 weddings in 12 years. We've gotten published well over 200 times. I think it might be 250 now. So it's tried and true. It is, like I said, it's been life changing for me. It's helped accelerate my business beyond my wildest dreams. But the topic I'm talking about today makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And that is the topic about reviews. Reviews are kind of cringy, especially when you first start your wedding planning business. But honestly, in a world where everyone is hopping online to find their clothes, establish travel plans, and plan their events, reviews have become more important than ever in growing your business and gaining client trust. As a new wedding planner, they scared me to death. Honestly, I was paralyzed by the thought of what a negative review could do to my business, and it often left me awake at night and continually on edge with client interactions. As I developed and built a brand that has expanded to so many cities and new places, and now really focusing on destination weddings, reviews have become more important than ever. But they no longer keep me up at night. Don't get me wrong, we have had very unhappy clients in the past 12 years. Everybody who's in this business can say that. Nobody goes unscathed. You're always going to have a client that's unhappy in the course of 6 months, a year. It's just kind of how it goes. But I've found that more often than not, they're eager to talk it out and have the situation rectified over public shaming. And honestly, that's true. I can't tell you how many times we've had an unhappy client. I talk to a lot of mothers of the bride. That usually seems to be the number one client, if you will, that really wants to talk about things. And I've found that if I just hop on a phone call with them, and I'm non-confrontational, but if I'll hop on a call with them and let them really kind of get out whatever they're feeling and talk it through with them, and then come up with a plan to move forward together, it really, really alleviates any need for them to go online and publicly shame us. It really helps us move forward together. And that's the best thing for the clients, for the bride and groom, so that they have, there's a mutually consensual, okay, maybe we messed up on this, or this isn't what you expected. We're going to fix that. We're going to move forward together and create the wedding of your dreams. So I will say that despite some of the negative reviews that we have received, they still continue. Reviews in general, there's a huge part of what makes our planners attracted to potential clients online. And so we have learned to embrace them. So despite some of the negative reviews, we have gotten negative reviews. Potential clients are still using our reviews overall to get client trust, for us to gain their trust. They see our reviews and they're like, okay, let me kind of paint a picture of this for you. So they get on our one of our listing sites, and they see that we have like 50 reviews, but it doesn't have to be 50. It could be 12, honestly. And one of those is negative. I've found that they're not going to let that one negative review keep them from booking us, especially if I do this one thing. When a negative review comes in, one year we had a negative review come in, and the client said that we didn't really do a great job on her design like we did on a recent publication she had seen. And so in my response to her review, I actually linked to the blog post where her wedding was featured and said, I'm really sorry that you were disappointed in your wedding design. I'm linking that here again, so people who are reading this review can see what her wedding looked like. It was stunning. And, we really tried to create something that fit you and your um, kind of just vibe or design or, what you were looking for. Essentially, what was going on is that the design she wanted was more classic. The design she was seeing that was featured, that bride took a little bit more risk. And so just painting that picture for potential clients of like, well, here's our side of the story while also being respectful. I wasn't rude. I just said, we're sorry you were disappointed in your design. We loved it. Here's a link to it, and kind of just let it speak for itself. And so, responding to those reviews and sharing your side of how you perceived the work you did together to go in a respectful way really, really goes a long way, because then someone who reads that negative review, they're going to say, okay, maybe this bride had unrealistic expectations, or maybe I'm going to be better about saying, I want something unique. So, I think that there are really great ways to use those negative reviews to actually highlight your services and to continue to gain client trust. So, even though it's scary, and believe me, the first time I got a negative review, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened. I was so upset. But then the craziest thing happened. We kept booking weddings. It was okay. And so I realized, like, oh, if I can just thoughtfully reply to these reviews. You can also personally reply to a client and say, hey, I saw this review. I thought that things went well. I'm, just really confused. You want to hop on a call? You might be able to convince someone to take a review down. But again, don't be so overwhelmed by the negative review, because like I'm telling you, Chancy Charm has negative reviews, but we continue to book clients. I will say that obviously it's important that most of your reviews are positive online, but you can withstand a couple of reviews. And I think that that's really powerful for planners when it comes to boundaries, because I used to work at like 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. and weekends and all those things, and partially sometimes it was because I was afraid of a bad review. And I think it's empowering for you to know, and I want you to know, as a new planner or as an established planner, because sometimes we still carry these anxieties with us, that you can have a negative review and still have a six-figure wedding planning business. I'm speaking from experience. So, thoughtfully replying to any negative reviews you get, taking a deep breath, maybe taking a day off. That's okay, because you work really hard as a planner. And so getting a negative review, it's hurtful, it's hard. Taking a deep breath. I will say, don't reply to a negative review immediately. And I also recommend that you have someone else read your review response to make sure that, I think the number one thing to remember when you're responding is to not make it emotional. My husband really, really, really has been a champion for me on that. I can't tell you how many times I had him read a review response or an email, because I would write it with so much emotion and maybe pain sometimes, or pride. And he would say, you got to take all this emotion out, stick to the facts. And so I really encourage you to do that as well. So I do really, really encourage you that at the end of each quarter, or at least twice a year, you reach out to past clients to review your services. And I actually am going to include a link below the video and below the podcast with to a blog post where I'm actually sharing some really simple templates for you to use for review requests, because I think that's kind of a hurdle for people. They're like, I don't know what to write or how to write it. And you just get a list of your clients' emails and you reach out to them. I actually have found for my team that I reach out for the review the first 3 times, and that makes it a little bit easier for them. They don't feel so awkward about it. So if you have a VA or just someone who can pretend like they're your VA, y'all, fake it till you make it. I mean, I don't know. That can reach out for you, that might be a really great solution for you, because then you don't feel like that awkward, I'm asking for a review. It's like, no, I'm having my VA ask for a review. Um, and it's very professional. And so I say 3 times because honestly, 3 times is the charm. So we have a big Excel spreadsheet, and my VA hops in there, and she reaches out for reviews under my email. So I'm reaching out essentially for client reviews for our planners. And the great thing about this Excel is that it has, the client's name, whether they're the mother of the bride or whatever. And then it also asks, or it has, 1, 2, 3. What dates did we reach out for a review? And we try to reach out every 2 weeks. And you'll just be so surprised. But a lot of times, third time is the charm. And it's not because they don't love you. It's not because they don't want to review you. It just takes a while for them to make time for it. I've found that over and over and over again. And then after the third time, we do hand it back to the planner and say, hey, maybe you're going to have better luck with this than we did. So again, I really recommend you do that at the end of each quarter, or at least twice a year. Start asking out for reviews. Again, I'm going to provide a simple template for that. The other people that you can reach out to reviews for, which I love this, especially for new planners, is to reach out to past coworkers or creatives for reviews. So let's say you've been doing event planning in a past job in some capacity, or you've just, got a really great work ethic. Ask your past coworkers for a review. That's totally acceptable. We ask for reviews, we collect reviews on, I guess it's the Knot or Wedding Wire, no, they combined, Yelp and Google Plus, Google My Business. You can get a free listing for Google My Business, and we're collecting reviews on there, especially Google My Business, Yelp. You don't have to be a past client, like a bride or a groom or mother of the bride, to leave a review. So those are great places to get reviews on your character and your work ethic. And you also remember, when you do your first brand shoot or style shoot or whatever, those vendors, you can now ask for reviews. I also recommend that you return the favor and you give them a review, and you might have to give them a review before they're going to give you a review. But I think it says a lot about you as a creative and a professional when you've got a couple of reviews in there that are from other people who have worked with you and they really know your work ethic. So again, I'm going to send over a link below, so used to email. I'm going to include a link below with some templates for reviews, requesting a review from clients and other creatives, past coworkers. I really, really hope it's a blessing to your business. I can't tell you how huge reviews are for building client trust. And when you build client trust, you get a booking, which is the goal. We're so excited. So and just, yeah, I don't know, come back to this episode after you use these templates and start getting some reviews and getting more bookings and tell me, because it would like make my whole day. I hope and pray that this was a blessing to you. I know it's a lot. I want to encourage you to be bold. Don't let reviews paralyze you. Instead, use them to grow your wedding planning business. I'm rooting for you, friend.